Hello yarn friends! In today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make this really easy crochet snowflake done in only 3 simple rows. If you have not yet done so already, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and give this video a thumbs up, and let's go ahead and jump into the materials and let's get started with today's video. Now for today's video I will be using this white thread, however it is the classic 10 size thread, and this is a cotton thread, and the hook size that I'll be using today is a B or a 2.25 millimeter crochet hook. Now I do want to note you can use a different size yarn with an appropriate size hook if you choose to go up in size, but let's go ahead and take a look at how to make this. Now to begin, we are going to start with a magic ring or a magic loop. If you do not know how to do that, go ahead and click the video link above here, and I do have a video. Otherwise, you can always do a chain of 3 or 4 and then make your join that way. Now that we have our magic ring, okay, so once you have your magic ring started, we are going to make a one more chain here. Now this is not going to count as a stitch. From here we want to place a double crochet back into our ring. That will count as our first double crochet. Now we will chain up 2 and then make another double crochet back into our ring. Oops, it's a little hard working with the thread. We will chain 2 and then make another double crochet back into that space. So now we have 2 double crochets. We want to have a total of 6 double crochets. Go ahead and do that and meet me back here. Now you want to repeat this actually until you have a total of 5 double crochets into the ring. So this counts as 1, 2, 3. Go ahead until you have a total of 5 and meet me back here. Now this is what it should be looking like. I went ahead and I closed my ring, but with our chain 2 spaces, by the time we're done we'll have a total of 5. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double crochets, and we're ending with our chain 2. Now to finish this off, we are just simply going to join with a slip stitch to the top of our first double crochet. Okay, so now if you go ahead and count, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chain spaces as well. So now we want to slip stitch into the chain 2 space. Okay, now from here we are going to chain up 3 stitches, and this will count as our first stitch. And then we are going to go ahead and make 4 double crochets back into that same space right here. Okay, so like kind of like a little cluster here. Okay, there's the third, or excuse me, the second and the third. So if we count that chain 3 as a stitch, you will see here that we have a total of 4 stitches. Now we want to chain up 2, go into the next chain 2 space. We're going to place 4 double crochets into that same space. And then when we get done with this, we will go ahead and chain 2, go to the next chain 2 space and make 4 double crochets back into that same space. So there's 2, here's 3, and 4. Okay, so now we'll chain 2. And that's what it's looking like. Okay, now we're going to continue to do that around, so we'll place 4 double crochets into each one of these spaces until we get to the last one, and then meet me back here. Okay, so this is what it should be looking like once you have worked that all the way around. We do want to end with a chain 2, and then we are just going to join right here to the top of our chain 3, and we can just go on in there with a slip stitch to join, just like that. Now what we want to do is make our way over to this chain 2 space here. So we will simply slip stitch all the way over. So you put your hook in, pull it through and through. Okay. Perfect. So now what we want to do is slip stitch into this first chain 2 space. And now I'm going to show this repeat twice and then kind of leave you guys to do it. So what we're going to do is we slip stitch, we're going to chain 3, and now we're going to slip stitch back into the same space, okay? This part can get a little bit tricky. Okay, so now we are going to chain 5, and then we're going to slip stitch back into the same space. So sometimes it's easier to just kind of scoot our stitches over as we work this round. So now go ahead and chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we're going to slip stitch back into that same space. Okay. Now we will chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Oops, 7. And then we're going to slip stitch back into the same space. Now you can do what I just did and just kind of push your stitches over, because this is like our little halfway point. Okay, so now we are going to repeat these two, just like we did on the other side. So now we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we will slip stitch back into that same space. Okay. Chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. And then slip stitch back into that same space right there. Okay, so that is going to be the repeat that we do for this round. I'm going to show you guys really fast my finished one right here. Okay, so now we need to get from where we are to the next chain 2 space. So what we're going to do is we are just going to slip stitch all the way across these 4 stitches, just until we get to the other side. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we want to slip stitch into this next space right here. And then we are going to repeat what we just did in this space here. So go ahead and rewind this video if you need to, but you will chain 3, slip stitch, chain 5, slip stitch, chain 7, slip stitch, chain 5, slip stitch, chain 3, slip stitch. And then you will slip all the way to the next one. So this is what we're going to be repeating all the way around. So like I said, go ahead and repeat this if you need help with the repeat, but we are just going to continue to do what we did here all the way around, and I'll meet you back at the very end. I do just want to take a brief moment to say thank you to today's sponsor. Syncom is our sponsor for today's video. These amazing hand massagers, this one specifically is the model number CM088H, is amazing for anybody who has any hand pain or who likes to crochet, work with their hands, or anything along that lines. After working with something like this, if I were to make quite a few of them, I would most definitely be going to my Syncom after to make sure that I can give my hands a nice luxurious break. Now these Syncom machines come in two different types of machines. There are two different styles. They do have 3 different intensity levels. There are 3 different modes, and there is also heat options as well. Now what I really like about these hand machines is that it's not too much of a massage, but more of a compression and kneading of your fingers. It is something that also really just helps my hands and helps me unwind after a long day of crocheting and fiber arts. Again, I do want to say thank you to Syncom for today's sponsorship. Please check the description box down below, as I do have a 10% off discount code for your first order. Please make sure to check out their website and go claim your Syncom hand massager today. All right, now once you have done your last little bit in your last space, you don't have to work your way back over, because remember we slip stitched to get into this first spot. So we can just simply slip stitch into the first slip stitch right here. Get it to focus. Chain 1, go ahead and cut your work, and then you want to sew in your ends. Let me go grab a pair of scissors really fast. All right, once you have cut your yarn, go ahead and pull your tail through. You can make a little knot, and then you want to sew in your ends. And then that is it, guys. It is as simple as that. Now, for this little bit, I just took, let me grab some. Now, what I did is I just cut off a piece of my thread. I made sure that it was lined up. And then I just took one of the corners and I fed it through the middle here. I tied a knot right here at the star point, and then I tied the 2 ends a few times to make it into an ornament. Now you could turn this into a garland. You can do all kinds of different things with these really easy snowflakes. Again, just make sure that you sew in your ends. And honestly, there's really no need to have to starch them or anything like that. They don't really get, you know, the rounded edges, and they sit pretty nicely. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought of this really easy crocheted star.